John Goble, Sean Corbin, and Jonathan Sterling are three officials. Memphis controls the opening tip, and away we go. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies coming off a win against Charlotte. Morant gets up the first shot, and that's how Taylor Jenkins. And already seen a lot more pick and roll. Matter of fact, Zach Edey's numbers have really jumped, especially minutes with Ishilo as the head coach. He's from Finland. He was a great shooter and scorer.
Randall's off to a start that looks like he's back to that 2021 season where he shot over 40% from three.
McDaniels probing. We'll wait for his teammates and they'll reset it. And Conley gives it right back. McDaniels. And he's already having a quick chat on his way down the floor with Jonathan Sterling, saying he's been fouled twice already with no calls. Edwards open for three. Randall set him up.
This is how Minnesota plays.
You got to call that an anomaly, though, don't you?
Well, we'll see. I mean, you're certainly going to see it again. After that game the other night, they're going to see it again until they prove that they can overcome that.
Left leg.
I think he may have gotten a knee.
We can't really look past one. No one wants to be in that play-in. We are focused on our next game, guys. Both teams aligned.
So interesting as Ja Morant hits a three and Stephanie hit on it. And Chris Finch said, you know, I'm not watching the standings. Then proceeded to recite really step up against most teams. They've got an excellent bench, and their three that come off the bench, DiVincenzo and Naz Reid and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. These are three excellent. Six, make it their last seven now. Still a 1-point lead. And Jackson steps on the sideline. A turnover. Grizzlies. Here, that strong hand missed it. Alexander-Walker secures it. We send it over to Stephanie.
Well, you noted the new celebration by Ja Morant. He was asked this morning about it, and he said he's going to keep it. He's not changing it up every game until someone has a
by John Goble. He was going to pass the ball. He felt him up in the air, then he turned, but the contact's first. Now he throws it up. At the other end, though, tonight, Memphis already with 6.
Minnesota with 8 made threes.
Minnesota goes zone on that baseline out of bounds.
Pippen does not agree, wants his coaching staff to take a look. Pippen did take a shot in the throat, but that left knee was out there.
There's no way.
On Tuesday, Coach, this team seems to have locked in with their personnel. They know what their identity is, which is something they were searching for in the early part of the season. He's kind of the old man of the Grizzlies. He's 29. He's the oldest player on their roster.
Everything's relative. I mean, you're old too, but when you sit next to me, you're young.
Here's Reid. He drives it.
There defensively by Pippen to try to shoot the gap. Just creates too much space. You got to keep a body on shooter. Pippen comes back at the other end. Outstanding cut. Beautiful pass from Bane. Memphis for most of the year. Ja Morant with injuries, suspensions, off-court troubles. You forget sometimes how good this guy is when he's out on the court every night playing as Anthony Edwards knocks down another one. We got a real...
Oh, and there goes Morant. What you can do, I can do better. Morant's got 16 in his 11 minutes. He's only missed 2 shots. Edwards with
shooting 63% tonight, 71% from 3, and they're down 4. One of the big reasons, 9 turnovers.
Well, if you listen to the great Pete Pranica and Brevin Knight on Memphis Grizzlies television, that is always a major theme now. Anthony Edwards, three-pointer. It's his first miss. Air ball, and they'll let him know.
A shift in his mindset. He wants to stay on the floor more and not foul. So it's really about not fouling more and just about changing shots, not necessarily swatting them away. He said it's really about not blocking everything. It's just about being up.
We approach the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. Morant to the basket, fouled. Free throws coming for Ja Morant. Randall switches on to Bane. You got DiVincenzo on Jackson. That's the matchup they want. Jackson goes to the basket and scores. Side out. Let's see who they call it on.
Yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson Jr. picks up his third foul. And weren't we just talking about Jackson has stayed out of?
Yeah, look, and that's an area we talked about it earlier where Minnesota's usually very good who's defending the three. They give up the
threes tonight. Made half of his threes. Minnesota down a point with the ball, just getting started here in the third quarter. Been a very entertaining matchup thus far. Randall off 1 foot. Shooter's touch for Julius Randle. Bit of a mess for Memphis on this end of the floor. This is a 10 for Taylor Jenkins. Memphis.
Anthony Edwards, and then another attack of the rim, and now they're back on the deep one, creating a layup on the fast break. That's just careless. Those you cannot have.
Conley drops it off Gobert, and Bane called for the foul.
Huge one right now.
Minnesota on the other end of what they endured in Milwaukee on Tuesday. As Randall scores a Scottie Pippen Jr. on the attack. And the former Grizzly Mike Conley. They were down 5 at the half. And now they lead it by 16. That's the run, 30-8.
9 as a team.
Here goes Morant, hangs again, draws the contact. John Goebel. Jackson Jr. playing with those 4 fouls.
Well, Chris Finch.
And he's got a 40-piece in Memphis tonight. 41 points for Anthony Edwards. His 6th made 3.
In the quarter for Minnesota. 52 points in the quarter, and Anthony Edwards has 44 in the game already.
Jackson pick up his 5th foul on the other end. Stays aggressive on the offensive end. Got nothing to lose at this point.
No, and if we're going to talk about the effect, at least for tonight, by not having Jalen Wells, the first 2 times these teams played, defend, rebound, take care of the ball, and don't beat yourself.
As they did in that 4th quarter on Tuesday. That one's going to sting the Wolves, but you know, after all of that, is Edie back on the floor now with 8:42 left.
Anthony Edwards, that big 4th quarter collapse the other night, did not have a bucket in the 4th quarter. He was 0 for 4, all 3-pointers, did make 1 free throw. Great passes, actually. I love Scottie Pippen's energy, love what he brings to the game, but he's another guy who's got to be more disciplined on the defensive end. He doesn't need to be grabbing somebody's jersey and just giving away fouls.
Alexander Walker and able to lay it in with a foul.
Well, he hits a 3 on one possession. On the next possession, he gets an old-fashioned 3-point play.
Sneaky little skill there, the way he uses the ball. 2.5 to go. Morant fouled. Prior to the shot, Edwards commits the foul. So they've had good memories there. Memphis will have a big matchup. Who's it going to be in the playoffs? The West.